Temperature roasting for meats, it's fantastic. Sears the outside, inside's tender and juicy. 500 degrees. Make sure your oven's really clean, otherwise the fire department will show up. So I love to take something traditional, like a roast beef sandwich, and really turn up the volume. I'm going to make a filet of beef sandwich on French bread with truffle butter, arugula, and big shaves of Parmesan cheese. It's so delicious. I'm going to start with 1.5 to 2 pounds of filet of beef. Just going to pat the outside dry so it sears really well. You don't want it steaming. I'm going to take a tablespoon of room temperature butter. Make sure it's room temperature, otherwise you'll never get it spread. And it's important for the meat to be a little, not quite ice cold. So I leave it out for about 20 minutes or half an hour before. And just smear it all the way on the outside. This will allow the outside to sear and the inside to cook perfectly. This is actually better than olive oil butter. The milk solids actually brown better. So that's the outside. Now I'm going to season it. 1 tablespoon of salt. It sounds like a lot, but it's really important to season the whole thing. You want a real crust of salt on it, all the way around the outside. 1 tablespoon of pepper. Use a nice coarse cracked pepper. A lot of pepper, a lot of flavor, all the way around the outside. And the butter makes it stick, too. I know it looks like a lot, but believe me, it needs it. And just roll it in the pepper and the salt. Fantastic. Okay, onto a sheet pan. I use sheet pans for everything. You don't want something with high sides because otherwise it's going to steam. 22 minutes, 500 degrees. It's going to be so delicious for the sandwiches. Different meats cook at different temperatures, different times, but there are a few things I always do when I'm roasting. I take meats out of the fridge 20 to 30 minutes before I roast them. They roast more evenly if they're not ice cold when they go into the oven. I always brush the outside with some kind of fat or olive oil so the meat sears better. And I season it with salt and pepper, and maybe even a marinade like for this chicken for best flavor. Don't trust the dial on your oven. Use an inexpensive oven thermometer you can buy at the hardware store. Restaurant chefs can touch meat and know if it's medium rare. I can't do that. I'm going to show you how I tell whether the meat is done or not. Filet beef should be done 22 minutes exactly for rare. Isn't that gorgeous? 25 minutes for medium rare. And there's only one way to tell. Meat thermometer. I use an instant meat thermometer, and you just put it right in the center, not through the top, because it's really hard to hit the center. But if you put it through the side, you get the center exactly. It's the only way to tell. So, 120 degrees for rare, 125 for medium rare. Perfect. And if it has markings on it for beef, just ignore them. You have to do it by the temperature. So I'm just going to cover it with aluminum foil at room temperature. I'm going to let it rest for about 15 minutes. And all the juices are going to get back into the meat, and it's going to be so much more flavorful and delicious. And it's actually going to cook a little more, which is why you want to be sure you don't overcook it before you take it out of the oven. It'll probably be about 135 degrees by the time we're ready. All right, I said I wasn't making any ordinary roast beef sandwich. This is an amazing sandwich. I'm going to take a whole baguette, French baguette, just cut it right down the middle, and I'm going to slather it with black truffle butter. Black truffles are the truffles that come from Provence, and they're incredibly earthy and just delicious. And they're unbelievably expensive. But when you buy it in truffle butter, it's incredibly inexpensive. So I'm going to use about 1.5 ounces of truffle butter. Actually, this whole pot is 3 ounces, so it's about half the container. And the whole pot only costs about $8, whereas truffles are like hundreds of dollars. Okay, that's the truffle butter. Next for the filet beef. And I'm just going to slice it. This is the way I cook filet beef all the time, even when I'm just serving it with a nice gorgonzola sauce. 500 degrees. Comes out perfect every time. Just going to slice it thin. It is a sandwich. You want to be able to eat it easily. Look how perfectly roasted it is. Thin slicing that is always the best. Okay, so that's probably going to be good for that is just gorgeous. I'm going to take a picture of it, put it on my website. It's so good. Perfect. Next, I'm going to turn the oven temperature way down and make a roasted tomato caprese salad. I hope it's as good as this.